Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Listen, this has been one of the craziest weeks already for crypto. I told you guys that's going to get volatile. I told you guys that's going to be a crazy week. And I told you guys that we are going to see fireworks into and even after the elections. Now, at the current moment in time that I'm recording this, stablecoin volume is up over 180 billion. The market cap is up almost 9%. Bitcoin is trading at just under $74,000. The overall crypto market, in terms of the top 24 gainers, guys, is going crazy. And we have a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to XRP and the SEC now that we have a new president. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's take a look at a few things. Let's start off with this. Bullish. Bitcoin's price history from the last 3 elections hints at a potential explosion post-election. And yes, this has been something that I have been following for a while. I actually do believe that Bitcoin is going to go to 100K plus after the election. And guess what? We are not even 24 hours after the election. I personally believe that in 2025, this entire space is going to look insane, especially from the prices that we did have back in the summer. When everyone was complaining, it was the time to be buying. But this is something that I have been following, right? The pre and post price history of crypto when it comes to the elections. And even over here, right? I said, because we haven't yet broken the all-time high for Bitcoin. History is being made right now. Inflation adjusted all-time high for Bitcoin is around 78K roughly. We are closing the gap. All-time high and up only season incoming, baby. And yes, because we are so close to a new all-time high on Bitcoin. If we are still going off of the inflation adjusted, obviously it did already make a new all-time high if we're going back on the all-time chart. But inflation adjusted definitely is something to keep in mind. But overall, as we look at XRP is still pretty stable. But there was a document that Ripple did put out, and it was actually a great document because it outlined how there is proof that XRP's main driver of lack of price appreciation was the SEC. We now have a new president, and guess what? It feels as though crypto has now become a big spotlighted piece of everything, including elections. We have over here that the night isn't over yet, but one thing is abundantly clear. Crypto showed up this election. And if we actually look at the House of Representatives, 219 pro-crypto candidates elected, 106 anti-crypto candidates elected. We also have Senate, 14 pro-crypto candidates elected, and 9 anti-crypto candidates elected. Now, the sad news is that Elizabeth Warren did win against Johnny Deaton, but it was to be expected. Massachusetts is not going to turn red. It's just, I hate to break it to you guys, but it's just not. These people vote with color. They don't vote with anything else in mind. It's just red or blue to them. But outside of that, yes, crypto did become a big piece of the overall puzzle for the election. And yes, of course, I'm sure that by now you guys already know that Donald Trump is the new president. So as we look at what is going on here, it feels as though the anti-crypto show is starting to fade. And as we really think about that, we also look at one person, which is Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler and the SEC have been against this industry since day one. And it's not just a Gary Gensler problem. I just want to make that very clear. It's also just an SEC issue. Even prior to Gary Gensler, there was a lot of action against the SEC against this space. And if we look over here at XRP and we go all the way back to roughly the time frame of when we got the lawsuit versus the price action to now, it has been one massive sideshow. And it's crazy that it's been going on for this long of just sideways momentum, no all-time high, no massive appreciation in price action. I mean, if we're going off of the 2020 lows, yeah, sure, it did an 11x return from the bottom to the top, but You're not going to buy the exact bottom. You're not going to sell the exact top. So it doesn't really matter when we think about an 11x return when all of these other altcoins are doing, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50x plus. But outside of just XRP, right, I want to just stress and also address how significant the SEC has been on keeping XRP suppressed. I do believe that we are getting very close to the point where XRP finally becomes unleashed and the SEC is no longer an obstacle in front of us. Over here we have from Trump, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman who believes America should build the future, not block the future. Now, before we even play this, he says on day one, it's not going to be that easy. It's going to take a little bit of time. But the good news is that not only do we have red in president, we have red in the House and also the Senate, which is a very big thing. Now we could start to see some traction here. And we could technically see the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, fired. But check this out.
On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman. I didn't know he was that unpopular. I didn't know he was that unpopular. Let me say it again. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. Whoa.
Now, of course, I do hate to break it to you guys, but technically, Gensler still has about 17 months left, even starting the new year. But also, Trump doesn't really have the power to get rid of a chairman of the SEC. But we could start to see some major moves against Gary Gensler that could potentially push him out of the SEC, which would be a game changer for the entire industry. I do think that we are going to start to see some major changes happening around the SEC and even around this entire industry. Over here, we actually have Justin, Binance, and CZ's lawyers file a motion to dismiss the SEC's amended complaint, slamming the SEC for lack of regulatory clarity. And then also the CLO of Coinbase saying, I hope the SEC Gov understands what has happened tonight. On many, many issues, the voters said loud and clear that they want change. Crypto is no exception. Stop suing crypto, start talking to crypto, initiate rulemaking now. There's no reason to wait. And yes, this is exactly what happened last night. We saw history in the making of, voters clearly showing interest in crypto, remaining in the US, innovation thriving in the US, and now is the time to start taking it seriously. And I do believe that it is going to start now. But also, there was a great video that got posted by a digital asset investor, and this is Wow Money 2020. The crowd hates Gensler. Check this out.
When I was invited to talk with you in this fireside, I was very excited. I was telling my colleagues, and one of them said to me, wow, Money 2020, I mean, this crowd hates Gensler. I don't know if you knew that, or if now that you do know, I mean, is that a sign for you that you're actually doing your job? Is that the middlemen maybe that you're targeting and trying to make more transparent, that's your goalpost of how you measure success?
No, hope I don't measure success through the animus that what we do. So, but
do you have any final messages to them?
Wide range of folks, whether they're financial technology firms, whether they're in finance itself. My God, I'm 18 years at Goldman Sachs. I spent 4 or 5 years up at MIT because I was asked by now.
He was also at MIT saying that these are crypto assets, not crypto securities, something that he completely did a 180 on, by the way.
Nobel laureate Simon Johnson recruited me to go up there, but my God, he's a Nobel laureate now. But Simon invited me to go up there to, and what better place to do it but to the intersection of money, finance, money, and technology. And I think that we constantly are changing, and I want to see how we can better do this for investors and issuers. But yes, there's some that are going to be the market intermediaries in the middle, the people that are operating the stock exchanges or the clearing houses or the brokers or investment advisors that have different incentives than somebody like I do. Now, if I was still at Goldman Sachs, I might not like some of the things I'm doing. But my job is for 330 million Americans, and we do it with an openness. We want to hear the comments. We want to hear the feedback. When we lose in court, we adjust.
He has gotten negative feedback for the last roughly, what now, almost 4 years. Are they even listening to the feedback? And he's also saying that he's doing this job for all Americans, even though the retail sector is the one, like, when we think about retail investors, they're the ones that have gotten hurt the most during his entire tenure at the SEC. Crazy statements here.
But our clients still ultimately the 330 million Americans and the entrepreneurs in the room that are trying to start out and access capital and take on the incumbents. And I have deep respect for the trade associations as well, but sometimes their associations are, have the large incumbents that are important members for them. So, but keep the comments coming. That's how we do better.
So that's how we do better. I don't think that that's how you do better because you haven't listened to a single word that the retail sector has told you. If you did, a lot of these issues that we still see today could have easily have been solved. I just find it absolutely crazy that Gary Gensler's saying this. This is why, as we really look at what's going on right now, I do believe that the SEC's time to regulate crypto is now done. I don't think that the SEC is going to be an agency that is going to be regulating crypto. And Gary Gensler, I truly do believe that he is finished. Outside of just the Money 2020 crowd that hates him, everyone hates Gary. You could see it even when Trump said that I will fire Gary Gensler on day one, basically. And you could see it throughout the entire space. I mean, you mentioned Gary Gensler, you mentioned the SEC, and you are met with a ton of people complaining. They're frustrated. They're, angry. That should prove to you just how bad of a job Gary Gensler has done. The SEC should be ashamed of themselves. And Gary Gensler should never, and I repeat, never have a single position at all overseeing any markets. He has done an absolute terrible job. And I truly do believe that now is the time where we start to see a major realignment of the SEC. And I do think that now we could start to finally see some movement happening around this space, more so hinting at regulatory clarity. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.